Hey guys, welcome! I'm Mari. For those who are new to my channel, I draw and paint art and manga. You can find a lot of my art on Instagram at marigoose with 3 O's. On YouTube, I've been sharing videos of my art process as well as what I've learned from my art journey so far. For this particular video, I wanted to talk about fear. Fear of failure, fear of being judged, fear of wasting time, how all that fear has affected me and what I realized about fear. But before we get into that, I wanted to talk about this piece I'm drawing. It incorporates lots of bug wings, but guess what? I actually hate bugs. They freak me out. And because of that, I decided to try getting over that fear by drawing bugs. It forced me to stare at their gross little details for an uncomfortably long time. And as a result, I actually ended up finding things about them that I surprisingly liked, like bug wings. They're so pretty when you actually look at them closely. And that inspired me to make this piece. Facing your fears can lead you to places you never would have thought to go. Now, I think that's a different kind of fear than what I wanted to talk about in the video, but it's still fear, and there's something in that made me realize the truth. So let's start with how fear has affected me, and perhaps some of you can relate to this as well. I find something I want to try or come up with an idea I want to try, but then I start thinking of all these what ifs that discourage me and scare me away from doing it. Like, what if I completely mess up and waste all that time, money, and effort? What if people judge me? Like, maybe they'll think I'm ridiculous and turn me into a joke. I start trying to plan everything to quote-unquote mitigate my fears and circle around and around, worrying, rechecking, replanning, redoing everything, fooling myself into feeling like I'm making progress, but really, I'm getting nowhere. I start going down this rabbit hole and I hesitate. I hesitate into inaction for a long time because I'm too afraid of the consequences. This happened to me a lot, especially in art, like posting art online, posting videos online, starting a Patreon, starting Twitch, making a manga and actually showing it to people and actually finishing it. Everything. And you know what? I've wasted over 10 years of my life hesitating because of fear. Ironic, because one of my fears is wasting time. But you know what I didn't think about? All the what ifs in the other direction. What if it works out? What if people find it really helpful and I manage to impact their lives somehow? What if it's exactly what makes me feel fulfilled and happy? What if it's fun? For all the scary things, there are great, exciting things too. I mean, why else would you want to try it, right? Now here's the truth about fear. They're usually blown way out of proportion in your head. Reality isn't nearly as bad as what you imagine. Like, most people don't care, and they're not as scary as you think. Even if a few people say something, it doesn't change anything for you. It's an opinion. It's still your choice to take it seriously or not. Even if something goes wrong, you learn from it, and you figure it out. It becomes an adventure, and those are just the bumps in the road, the monsters in your path. And we know that in a hero's journey, trials and tribulations are part of the story, and they must be overcome to see the end of the story. If we stop part way, we'll never know where our own story could lead. Like manga, I've wanted to make one since middle school. I'd start, never finish, never even get that far, because I was afraid I wasn't good enough, and that people would hate it, even when people were reading it and said they liked it. I finally started working on one in earnest a year or two ago, but I still get bouts where I hesitate because of all these fears. I always steer myself back on track and working on it now though, which I'm proud of. The thought, I'm not good enough yet, is what I told myself countless times when I tried to make manga. But the thing is, there's never a point where you finally know that you're good enough. You either believe it or you don't. I realized that even if someone came by and told me, "You're good enough," I wouldn't believe them because I didn't believe it myself. So the start is to just believe. It'll be a struggle at first, but then you'll start to prove to yourself that you are good enough and that you can do these things that you want to try. Everyone starts somewhere, and even if you're not amazing at first, you'll get better with practice. What's important is that you're doing. Now that I've decided to take a chance on myself, I feel like the wheels are finally turning. I have no idea where my journey will lead me, but I'm happy to finally take a step over the starting line. I still struggle at times. Every time I'm working on my videos for YouTube or posting a piece on Instagram, creating another page for my manga, my mind still fills with all these what ifs. But I remind myself of what I want to achieve, what I want to do in my life, and remind myself that I just have to do it. It's like with art supplies, it's only a waste if you don't use them. If I use them and make really poopy art, well, I learned not to use that color combo or those techniques, or maybe that look just isn't what I like. I still got something out of that experience. It's still a step forward, so it's not a waste. I urge you, don't do what I did and hesitate for over 10 years. Just do it. Just try. Get it out there. Go for that thing you've been eyeing. Try that new whatever it may be. Don't let fear stop you from trying something. Without a bit of risk, we won't get anywhere. We won't have stories to tell. Planning and mitigating risk is good, but don't let that turn into endless circling that keeps you from doing the thing. Do any of you have stories around how fear has affected you, or maybe how you overcame fear? Please share them in the comments. I'd love to hear. If you liked my video, please give it a like and subscribe for more videos like this. If you know anyone that might benefit from what I talked about, feel free to share. It really helps me a ton and helps get my video out there. If you liked my art, you can follow me on Instagram. I also have a Patreon where I share bi-weekly posts about my life and art. You can also get access to my in-progress manga and behind the scenes for that, as well as become my pen pal. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Have an awesome day. Dare to do what your heart desires and have fun. Bye everyone!